All right, let's talk money. This is the question every new scriptwriter eventually asks. How much should I charge? And listen, I get it. When I started, I had no clue either. I was completely clueless. I had no idea. And I was scared to ask for too much. I was scared to ask for more because I just didn't want to seem greedy. And honestly, I didn't even know what my work was worth. So that's why I'm recording this video. This video is for the aspiring writer that's watching right now. I'm going to break down what not to do when pricing your scripts, how I went from writing $50 scripts all the way up to charging like five, six, seven, eight, even $1,000 for one script. I also want to talk about the three pricing models that you need to understand and how to actually charge based on value, not just your time. So let's go. The first point is the biggest mistake. I'm not going to drag this on. The biggest mistake you're making right now is charging by word or by minute, because I know that's like the popular way to charge for scripts. Ditch it. Please. Please ditch that shit. Don't do that, because this is where most people go wrong. They say things like, I charge 5 cents per word, or I charge $10 for every minute of video. And listen, I get why that sounds logical, but it's the worst possible way to price your work, because now you're getting paid for volume, not value. And the faster you work, the less you get paid. Why do you want to do that? And worst of all, you're training the client to see you as an added cost instead of a growth asset. Listen, great scripts aren't about word count. They're about watch time. They're about retention. They're about impact. And most of all, they're about results. That's the bottom line. Results. If your script can get them results, you can start charging more. Simple, right? So instead of charging per word or per minute, you need to start thinking in terms of flat rates and project value. Because, and this brings me to this is the perfect segue to my journey from charging like $50 per script, sometimes even less, all the way to charging like 500 plus dollars for a script. When I started writing, when I first started writing, I was charging like $50 per script, sometimes even less, just to get the gig. And here's what changed. I stopped trying to be a cheap writer. I started trying to be an irreplaceable partner. That is the biggest mindset shift that made that got me to where I am right now, right? I would ask my clients questions like, what are your goals with this channel? Like, what kind of watch time are you aiming for? And what's been missing in your current scripts? Because I made it clear that I'm not just writing, I'm here to help you win. That's what I'm doing. And when you position yourself like that, you can start charging 200, 300, $400 per script, because now you're tied to results, not word count. And this brings me to the three pricing models you need to know. Let's talk about structure. Okay, let's talk about structure. And here are the three ways I price script writing right now. Number one is um, flat rates. I charge flat rates per script, right? Clean, simple, easy to scale. You define your rate based on script length and complexity. And for example, like for any 8 to 10 minute video, I usually charge like $200, which is not the highest. It's decent. For a 12 to 15 minute video, I'll charge like $300. For 16 to 20 minute video, I'll charge like 400, $450. You get the point, right? The pros for this approach for a flat rate are, it's consistent and predictable. both for you and for your client. You both are very clear on how much they have to pay and how much you're going to get paid. Number 2 is monthly retainers. This is where things get exciting. A client says, I need 4 scripts per month, and you say, cool, that's going to be that's $1,200 a month. The pros over here are it's recurring income, it's stable, there's stability in it. But you need to have strong boundaries when you're doing a retainer model. You need to have really strong boundaries. You need to have the delivery days clear. You need to communicate the delivery date, the delivery days, the revision limits, etc., etc., very clearly with your client. Honestly, start. This is a mistake I was making. I was not making contracts or agreements, like actual signed agreements. It's super easy. You need to start doing that. It's super simple. You can use chat gpt. You can use websites like or apps like pandadoc or docusign. It's super simple. Just make contracts, okay, please. It's gonna save you a lot of headaches, because I've been burned by some really bad clients, and I had to give like 4 5 figure 5 figure refunds. I'm not kidding. I had to give like 5 figures just in refunds, just because I didn't do my due diligence and make a damn contract. So that's something you need to be careful about when you're doing retainer models. Number 3, you want to start charging value based, or you want to value based or ROI. You need to link to ROI, right? So number 3 would be value based or ROI linked pricing. This is this is for clients with real businesses behind them, behind their content, right? If your script helps them sell like a 5 grand course, like a $5,000 course, or it gets 100,000 views, 100,000 plus views on a video that feeds into a lead magnet, or you help them launch a viral document that grows their email list by like 5,000 people, I think it's fair to charge 500 plus per script, or even more, because now you're not just writing words, you're actually driving growth. This brings me to what clients actually want, right? What clients actually care about. Because here's what I learned: clients really don't care how long your script is. They honestly don't care how long your script is. They care about, will this keep my viewers watching, or will this or does this match my tone and voice, or is this better than what I can do myself, or just get from AI? Because if you can, if they can do it themselves, or write it through AI, they're not going to pay 500 600 bucks. That's pretty simple, right? If the answer to all three of these is yes, you're already worth more than 90% of writers on the market. And when you show up like a pro, with structure, with delivery and insight, you name your price. So here's how to price your scripts moving forward. Ditch the per word and per minute pricing. Okay? Start with flat rates and raise them as you get more experience. Offer monthly retainers once you have built that trust and actually gotten your clients' results. And always anchor your price to the value you're delivering. And one more thing, you don't need to start perfect, you just need to start professional. Because if you can act you can start if you can act like a $500 writer before how do I say this, you don't need to start perfect, you need to start professional. Okay, act like a $500 writer before you get paid like one. And that shift alone, that mental shift alone, that's what's gonna get you there. So if this helped, The next video will walk you through exactly how to get clients consistently, even if you're just starting out.